We just got a really unusual opportunity to look inside of this youth migrant shelter behind me. There's been a lot of controversy about the Trump administration's practice of separating families at the border, and so the Department of Health and Human Services decided to open up this shelter to a media tour to allow some more transparency and to provide a look at the conditions under which some of these children are living. We saw the boys inside playing soccer. Some of them were in classrooms, reading books, or some of them started reciting the words good day in Spanish and in various indigenous languages when we arrived. So there was this atmosphere of learning and playing, but one thing that was very particular about this tour is that the conditions under which we were allowed to go on it is that we were not allowed to do any video recording, no audio recording. We weren't allowed to speak with any of the children directly, so I couldn't interview them to get a real firsthand experience about what it's like to stay in these shelters. The shelter director mentioned that about 10% of the boys, all boys in this facility, were cases of family separation. So when they came to the border under the new Trump zero tolerance policy, the children were transferred from the Department of Homeland Security custody to the Office of Refugee and Resettlement, which keeps them in these shelters operated by Southwest Key. Meanwhile, the parents remain in detention and often face deportation, which, according to immigration attorneys, can result in the permanent separation of some of these families. But the work that they do here at this shelter is basically they try to find sponsors for these children. The first people that they go to is they try to find direct family relatives of the children who are living in the United States. If they can't find them or if they can't be with them because they're in detention and in criminal proceedings under the zero tolerance policy, they will look to friends of the family. And final resort is just foster care with anyone who's able to receive these children. The average stay at this facility is about 52 days. Southwest Key operates 27 immigrant youth shelters in Texas, Arizona, and California. And again, this is a tour that we were allowed to go on because of the criticism that the Trump administration's family separation practice has received. Yesterday was a Keep Families Together National Action Day on social media, a lot of protests being organized. So we got to look inside and see. I mean, we didn't see anything out of the ordinary. There were a lot of staff members who were answering our questions. For example, they told us that these children get to speak with a clinician who evaluates them for mental health trauma twice a week, and they try to help them work through the trauma of fleeing gang violence in many cases, or the trauma of the family separation. One thing, though, that is worth noting is they only get to make 2 phone calls a week, and they're 10 minutes long. And they're supervised. And in terms of getting them in touch with families who are in detention and in criminal proceedings, they often face a lot of difficulty. In El Cajon, Jean Guerrero, KPBS News.